Hello everyone. Today I would like to tell you 10 conversations between two people about the man and the woman. Conversation 1. The woman had thought he had been out visiting clients that afternoon. The man replied to the woman, Mr. Ray had asked him to cancel the meeting because they were short-staffed in the office that day, and he thought they should hire more people so that they wouldn't heavily burdened with that work to finish, and he wanted to know if she thought so. The woman agreed with him, and however, she said their company sales had been going down and down, and they couldn't afford to hire anymore, and so she thought they was lucky because they wasn't one of those who had been laid off. The man agreed with her. Conversation 2. The man wanted to know if he should come to the 5th floor or just ask the front desk to call her. The woman replied to the man neither, and she said, went to the coffee shop on the 1st floor on the left side when he come into the building. And she said she would meet him there. The man replied to the woman he looked forward to seeing her, and he wanted to know if it was going to take a short time or if it was sometime important that they were going to talk about. And he said he hoped it wouldn't be so long, because he was supposed to go out with his family in an hour. The woman replied to the man she didn't know, and she said it could take as short as 30 minutes, and however, it also could take as long as 2 hours. And she wanted to know what he said, and she suggested meeting him another time. Conversation 3. The woman told the man the patient in room 1 was ready to see him. The man thanked her, and he wanted to know if she had a chart with medical history. And he said he remembered that patient was the one who had hurt injury 2 years ago. The woman was surprised by that, and she said that was too bad that he had his heart attack again, and she wanted to know if he had a good chance to recover fully. She knew that his family was worried about his health, and they weren't so positive that he could overcome it that time. The man replied to the woman if it was the first time, he was afraid that to tell them that he probably wouldn't be able to recover fully. Conversation 4. The woman wanted to know where he wanted to go for lunch and what he was hungry for. The man replied to the woman he was hungry for anything, and he could eat anything, even the dog food right then, and he suggested hurrying and going. The woman suggested going to the Chinese restaurant or the Japanese restaurant, which both were pretty close, and they could also go to either the steakhouse or the Italian restaurant that was on State Street. The man replied to the woman, getting to State Street would take forever, that traffic right then, and he suggested going get some Chinese for their stomach, and it was starting to hurt him then, and it was only a short walk from the office. Conversation 5. The woman said hello to the man, and she introduced to herself. He suggested helping him. The man replied to the woman if he drove up a suit later that afternoon. He wanted to know if it could be cleaned by the following day. He said it had some really dust stain on it, and he had to wear it for his interview the following day. The woman replied to the man, if he brought it in before closing that night, they would hang it on the priority rack and clean it first thing in the morning. However, when they offer customer clothing to be handled with priority, they charge a double of normal price, and she wanted to know if that's right with him. The man agreed with her, and he said he would drop it off later that day. Conversation 6. The man wanted to know if Miss Storm would be in the following day. The woman replied to the man she wouldn't be in the following day or the next day. She would be in Paris the following day, and she always worked at home on Thursday. She wanted to know if that was an emergency. The man disagreed with her, and he said he still needed to get the message from Tokyo, which was on that tape, to her as soon as possible, and he wanted to know if she thought she could deliver that tape to her as soon as she got back, and he said he would leave it right here. The woman agreed with him, and she said she would love to. Conversation 7. The woman wanted to know the man's opinion of renewing their contract with Thomson Office Supplies. The man replied to the woman that shipment took so long to get there, and he thought they needed more staff. He remembered last time it had taken 4 days to ship the notebook, when it had been so only supposed to take 2 days. The woman replied to the man he was looking for a book for other suppliers, unless he had another company in mind, and she suggested Mass Office Supplies, and she said her father always had trusted them because they never had failed him. Want to keep their promise arrival day. The man agreed with her, and he suggested trying them out. Conversation 7. The woman wanted to know the man's opinion of renewing their contract with Thomson's Office Supplies. The man replied to the woman that shipment took so long to get there, and he thought they needed more staff. He remembered last time it had taken 4 days to ship the notebook, when it had been only supposed to take 2 days. The woman replied to the man she would look in the phone book for other suppliers, when he had another company in mind, and she suggested Mass Office Supplies. She said her father always had trusted them because they never had failed him. Want to keep their promise arrival day. The man agreed with her, and he suggested trying them out. Conversation 8. The woman wanted to know if the blueprint was ready for the clients. The man replied to the woman they had to make a few changes after 10 o'clock design meeting, and everything was ready for them to see. The woman replied to the man Mr. Brick would be there that afternoon to get them, and the client had wanted to see the producer of those blueprints. After they reviewed the blueprint that afternoon, and she wanted to know if he thought he could let the producer know. The man agreed with her, and he said they was on vacation starting the week after, so the client should try to see them that week. Conversation 9. The woman said hello to the man, and she wanted to know how she could help him. The man replied to the woman he had noticed Her health had wanted sign in the window, and he wanted to know if the position was still available. The woman agreed with him, and she said they was hoping to hire 2 new cashiers, and she suggested coming back the following day at 11 for an interview, and she said he must bring his resume with him and recommendation from his professors or the previous boss. The man agreed with her, and he said he would be there at the store at 11. Conversation 10. The man wanted to know if the new printer had their ordered arrived yet. The woman agreed with him, and she said it arrived that day, and she hoped that one didn't break as soon as the quantity runs out like the last one did. And she said she had been so mad when it had happened, and she thought the printer to last at least 3 or 5 years. The man replied to the woman it shouldn't, and he said they had ordered from a more reliable manufacturer that time, although it was more expensive. So he was positive it would do its job and stay faithful to there. The woman replied to the man it needed for money that they had spent. Thanks for your watching.